tale of two completely different halves. I think Liverpool absolutely struggled in the second half. Wolves were really dominating. They were picking up the ball in the right positions. Their counter press was really effective. Plus, bringing on players like Bellegarde in the second half, I think it really worked for them. Andre and the number 8 Gomez, they were exceptionally good in the second half. They dominated the midfield. We took a step back, right, in the second half. I felt the performance that we gave in the first was really good, even though the chances at hand weren't that grave. But the runs that Diogo Jota was making, right, the amount of problems that we stirred up for that defense, I think we were really immense in the first half, even though football is not really all about going in behind the defense. I think that's one facet where we really struggled in Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah, to be more specific. I think they were not able to make those runs in behind the number 24, Totti and Doherty. I think Agbadu, again, an exceptional defender. I've been seeing him since the last couple of months. I think that acquisition was needed, much needed for Wolves. I think he brings in that element of solidity at the back, something which Wolves have been missing all season. Were so sloppy throughout the game. In the first 11 minutes, to be specific, Soboslai, Trent Alexander-Arnold, mispassing, overhitting balls, giving the ball away so easily, and then McAllister and Gravenberch stepped up, doing the dirty work, mopping that midfield, picking up the balls, driving ahead. I think our ball carrying ability was exceptional in the first half. We were really dynamic in the way we were creating those chances. Luis Diaz cutting back, squaring the ball, giving it to McAllister, and then finding Jota in those small pockets. I think we were really doing everything that we have, right? We've got the right caliber. We are clearly the more creative team when it comes to both these oppositions, but expected a little more, a tad bit more from Mohamed Salah, I think, in terms of his final product. His end product, I think, wasn't that good at all in this game. I think Doherty and Agbado, again, did an exceptional job against them. Trent, this man needs to be spoken about. I think he is not in the right frame of mind. Maybe he is completely demoralized, demotivated. In fact, in the first half, Ait Nouri was completely off it, right? I think Ait Nouri wasn't really offering anything in the first half, and he made Trent look really good defensively, is my personal opinion. People might think that Trent was exceptionally good. I think, yeah, he was good defensively for sure, but Wolves never really troubled him on that flank. Second half, I think we struggled massively because they upped their intensity. They introduced another midfielder. Bellegarde came on for Sarabia. Geddes, the number 29, the striker, was taken off. And the Zimbabwean, tremendous. What a striker, man. What is his name, by the way? Marshall Munetsi and Bellegarde came on, and they upped their tempo massively. It was such a different game from there on, and you could clearly see that Liverpool was struggling with the intensity. We were also really sluggish. I felt off the ball. Gravenberch and McAllister were not able to cover the ground enough, and Wolves were literally pounding on Robertson's side of the pitch, right? And the switch of play, the technicality that they exhibited to find Matheus Cunha near the final third was exceptional. I think that goal was world class. That is the caliber that this guy has. Single-handedly took our team out, right? And no one was attempting to block him. No one came to take him on. That's one thing which really bewildered me. I mean, I could see a McAllister was blocking the other guy, and Gravenberch was just ball watching, wasn't interested in closing him down. That's one thing which I don't like about our players. Robertson would overpunch. Like in the first half, he was really missing his marker. Like literally, those runners are making those runs, and then Robertson would be a mile away from the ball. He would literally be taken out in a blink of a second. That's how bad Robertson was in the first half too. And then you had the McAllister again doing the job. But how many times would you expect? How much would you expect our midfield stepping up? And I think one of the reasons for them losing their intensity in the second half was primarily because of the mistakes that we made in the first. I think they expended tad bit more energy than usual in the first, which is where I really attribute Gravenberch and McAllister for the performance that they gave. And there was a phase in the second half, 20 25 minutes, where Wolves completely dominated the ball, right? And kudos to them. I think they should have gotten the point the way they played. I think Liverpool completely dropped off in the second. And then you had a Konate replaced in the halftime. Kwanzaa, this boy needs to be spoken about. Kwanzaa was exceptional. I think he was our best defender in the second half. He literally man marked Marshall Munetsi so well. He man marked him so well on so many occasions. I think the balls delivered inside the box, the key passes delivered inside the box were really crucial for Wolves. And you had a Kwanzaa, the youngster, stepping up massively with aerial domination, with good readiness, good reading of the ball. Overall, when you see a Nunez, I think even a Nunez was not really that involved in the game. And then you saw from the technical line, the management was shouting at him to get involved, and then he was retrieving the ball from a deeper position. But then, yeah, we were completely disjointed up front, in the second half. And maybe Jota again, I think he wasn't completely feeling it in the second, right? He was removed in the 64th minute, which I didn't really understand. But I still feel Jota was so good in the first. I think we should have given him a little more time off the ball. I think he was struggling in making those runs, getting a little deeper to retrieve the possession. I think that's where we were really missing the mark. So introducing Endo was a tactical substitution because we needed to stop their midfield and attack from getting onto us, right? So the moment Endo was introduced, I think we sort of slowed the pace of the game down, and then we started getting on the ball more often, and the game changed from there altogether, which is something which I'm really grateful for. I think Arne Slot made the right decision with that one. But still, you would expect Liverpool to get on the ball, register a few shots, in the second. And you had a Salah who maneuvered beautifully in phases. He was literally giving the defenders a run for their money. And the offside goal that he scored was really subliminal, right? But he was off by a whisker. But I think we got away with the red card for Konate. I think a couple of decisions which went our way. I think we should be grateful for this results of such sort. Scraping a game of such sort doesn't really happen too often. So I think 3 points in the bag, and that's what means more for us. A couple of things that I want to talk about for Wolves. I think the number 7 Andre was exceptional, amazing ball carrying abilities, amazing physicality. The guy would just disperse the ball out as soon as he would get it. One touch, disperse it out. One touch, give it to the flanks. Right? I think that's where Wolves really picked up the tempo. I think that's what really changed the game for them. Right. And when you talk about players like Bellegarde, I think they're always going to be a nuisance, right? Physically, I think Bellegarde is like Belieber, not with exceptional movement, but his stature, his demeanor is as such that he can actually be obtrusive in build-ups. And I think that's what really worked well for Wolves. So I think all the substitutions in this game were tactical, and I think both the managers really stepped their game up, right? I think I enjoyed the game of football completely as a spectator. I think it was wonderful to watch the way both the teams were playing. But all in all, I'm happy that Liverpool won the game.